Before I start today's video, I just want to give a shout out to the political craze. Please go subscribe to him, and I will put a link to his channel in the description. What if Gore won Florida and became president? So as you can see here, the Republicans would gain 4 seats in their best case scenario. So as you can see here, I do think Ron DeSantis will beat Kamala Harris. Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2024. Welcome back to Go to Elections, and today we're going to be doing an election prediction between Joe Biden and Ron DeSantis. The safe states for Joe Biden include Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and D.C. Ron DeSantis' safe states include Idaho, Montana, Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska's at-large vote, 1st Congressional District and 3rd Congressional District, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Indiana. Joe Biden's lean states, Colorado, New Mexico, Virginia, and Maine's at-large and 1st Congressional District. Ron DeSantis' lean states, Ron DeSantis' likely states, include Alaska, Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, and Texas, as well as Florida, I think will also be likely. Joe Biden's lean states include Minnesota, and Nebraska's 2nd District, and New Hampshire. Ron DeSantis' lean states include Maine's 2nd District, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona. And Joe Biden's lean states are going to include Nevada. Actually, this is his still states, going to include Nevada and Michigan, and Ron DeSantis' still states includes just the state of Pennsylvania. So as you can see here, I think Ron DeSantis will win. He'll have 291 electoral votes. Joe Biden will have 247 electoral votes. And I'm just going to take you through a few swing states that are very, very crucial swing states that I think like anyone could say what they want and it could be correct. There's no wrong answer about these states. So these states are going to include Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. And I'm just going to be taking you through why I made these predictions for each of these states. What we're going to be looking at is Georgia. So Georgia has been a swing state for a little while now. I mean, it probably has been a swing state shorter than the other states that I'm going to be talking about. And so in 2020, Biden won Georgia very, very narrowly. I know a lot of people watching that race saying it was going to be close. Some people were skeptical about it because in 2016, I mean, Trump won it by 5 points. That is still a pretty good victory for Trump. But Joe Biden was able to pick it up by a very close margin in 2020. And then, as I said, in 2016, it was a 5-point margin for Trump. In 2012, it was an 8-point margin for Romney. In 2008, John McCain won it by 5 points. And then, of course, Bush made it safe, and Bush did pretty good in Georgia. And as you can see here, Georgia just keeps shifting. And the reason I think Georgia is going to go lean red to Ron DeSantis is because, well, first of all, it neighbors Florida, which is Ron DeSantis' state where he is the governor of right now. And also, Biden mainly won Georgia is because Trump didn't handle COVID very well, and this was still by a very close margin. So that's why I think Ron DeSantis will win in Georgia. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin went to Joe Biden by a 0.6% margin in 2020. In 2016, it went to Trump by 0.76 margin. And then it went to Obama by 6% in 2012, went to Obama by 13% in 2008, and went to Kerry by 0.38%, and went to Gore by 0.22%. So it seems like Wisconsin was a swing state for 2 years. Well, we'll talk about 21st century elections. So it's swing state 2000, swing state 2004. Then it was like almost safe for Obama in 2008, and in 2012 it was a little closer, but still a lean margin for, or a likely margin for Obama. And then something just happened in 2016 and Wisconsin went red. Like, I don't think people were expecting the Rust Belt especially to go red, but Wisconsin just somehow went red in 2016 and just is now a swing state, and Biden won it very narrowly. And the reason I think DeSantis will win it is, once again, as because of Georgia, it was a less than 1% margin, and most likely Wisconsin voters voted for Biden because they didn't like Trump's handling of the coronavirus. What we're going to be looking at is the state of Michigan. Michigan went to Joe Biden by a pretty good almost 3% margin, even though it is a pretty crucial swing state. And Trump narrowly, like more narrowly than Georgia this year, which might be hard to believe for some of you. It went to Trump in 2012. It went to Obama by like 9.5%. It was safe for Obama in 2008. It was lean for Kerry in 2004. And it was likely for Gore in 2000. So the evolution of Michigan went from being a Democratic stronghold through here. I mean, it was safe for Obama, 16 points in 2008 through 2012, and then 2016. Once again, Trump flipped it and won it by such a narrow margin, as I just said. Like, you don't get it. It was so narrow. Like Georgia in 2020. This was also really narrow, but they were basically the same margin. Michigan was even closer by a little bit. So, and then Michigan once again flipped blue. It was a very strong showing from Joe Biden. Another state that probably voted for Biden out of fear of coronavirus and Trump's handling of it. And I still think it's going to go blue, but it's going to be like very close. Like maybe we might even see like a 2016 Michigan just going like 0.22 for Biden in this scenario. The next state we're going to be looking at is Texas. Now, Trump won Texas by a 5-point margin in 2020. And this state hasn't gone blue since 1976 when Jimmy Carter won it by 3 points. But it's hard to think that just 20 years ago, Bush won it by 21 points. Actually, just 16 years ago, Bush won it by 23 almost. And now, in 2020, Trump wins it by 5. So this should be concerning for the Republicans as the Texas keeps getting closer and closer. And what I think in 2024, Texas is going to become closer. And Florida, as you can see, in 2020, it went to Trump by 3.4%. And I think 3.4% is a good margin for what's going to happen in Texas in 2024. But I think Ron DeSantis will still be able to win in Texas. The next state we're going to be looking at is Arizona. And Arizona is another one that's only went blue once in the 21st century. We go back to the 2000 election. Arizona was won by 6 points. 2004 was won by 10 points. 2008 was won by 8 points. 2012 it was won by 9 points. 2016 it was won by 3 points. And then in 2020 it was won by 0.3 points. Now Biden, this was the first, as I just mentioned, it was the first time the Democrats picked up this state since Really, I don't think it's going to even be on here. Oh, yep, I found it. Since 1996, Arizona had been red. It's been red all through the 21st century until up until 2020, and I don't think that Arizona will be able to stay with the Democrats in 2024 if Joe Biden runs against Ron DeSantis. I think Arizona also voted out of fear of COVID, and it was such a close margin that I think that DeSantis would be able to win against Joe Biden. Is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania went to Biden by 1.2 points in 2020, and of course it flipped for Trump in 2016, actually, for about the same margin as Trump won Wisconsin. And Pennsylvania, once again, had been blue a lot before it flipped red in 2016. Actually, the last time it went red was in 1988 when it went to George W. Bush. And it's just been blue all the way until 2016 when Trump was able to flip it. But then Biden was able to flip it back in 2020. And once again, this was a state that voted for Biden because of coronavirus. And I do think that DeSantis would be able to beat Biden, but it would be pretty close in Pennsylvania. Now we're going to be looking at Florida. So Florida, everyone's saying, you can't win without Florida. It's impossible. It hadn't happened. I think Florida had been right on every single election since, hold on one second. Florida had been right on every single election since 1992, and it basically has been right on every single election on Jackson Jude, except for 1992. By the way, if you want to go check out jacksonjude.com, the link to this website will be in the description. It is a very cool website, and I advise you to check it out. So Florida used to be like, no Florida, no win. And Joe Biden did prove them wrong here. Joe Biden won, of course, 306-232. He's now our president. But Trump won Florida by 3.4 points in 2020. 2016. Wait, hold on. Hold on. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, we're back. So, as I was saying, Florida was won by Trump by 3.4 points in 2020. In 2016, it was won by 1.2. And then Obama won it. And Florida was actually the deciding factor in the 2000 election. Bush won it by such a close margin. And if you watched the video that came out yesterday about what if Al Gore won, this was because he lost by such a close margin. And there's something called the Nader myth where they're saying if Ralph Nader hadn't ran, then Gore would have won. So I think in 2024, especially now that Florida's been trending more right, and also their governor is Ron DeSantis, I think he'll win Florida in 2024 against Joe Biden. The last day we're going to be looking at is Nevada. So Nevada went to Biden by 2.4 points in 2020. 2016 it went to Clinton by same margin actually. 2012 it went to Obama by 6.7, and yeah. So I think Nevada has been it was trending. It was actually trending to be a swing state. Bush was winning it by pretty narrow margins, and then I don't know what Obama did. He just did his magic, and Nevada not only flipped, it flipped by such a huge margin. And then Obama once again had it in a huge margin. And then Clinton wins it by only 2.4%. And then in 2020, Biden wins it by 2.4%. And I think it'll continue this trend of Democrats winning it. And I think Biden wins it by about 1% of the margin. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.